Sometimes people forget, and it's myself included, that accessory movements are just that. They are accessory movements to your main lifts, and they aren't always necessary. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing. Work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. Because, I went to the gym today, and for those who have been following kind of what I'm doing with my training lately, you guys know I run a concurrent style training 4-day split. Now, I'm not going to call it DUP because a lot of people are like, why don't you do DUP? Because I think DUP is overly complex with no benefits over other concurrent training systems. But DUP is still a concurrent style of training. So yeah, I focus on 2 different types of training styles throughout the week. I have heavy days and volume days. Pretty straightforward. So what I did today was my volume pause squats. Volume pause squats without a belt. And I have been PRing on this every week because I'm using slow linear progression on my 2 different sorts of training styles. And it works out fine as linear progress because number 1, I'm doing very, very small jumps with microplates. Meaning my biggest lifts, I'm increasing 10 pounds a month. My smaller lifts only 5 pounds a month. So if we put that in perspective, as far as my rep work and stuff goes, that makes a lot of sense. It's fairly slow, particularly since I'm working off old muscle memory and everything. This keeps me from stalling out right now. So that's pretty much what I'm doing on these lifts. And I'm running them in a concurrent system. So it works just fine for a more advanced lifter. And so what I've been doing on my volume squats is adding 2.5 pounds using microplates every week on my volume day. Doing the same sets and reps and just slowly adding weight. And obviously I have a much heavier squat session in between each of those. And so today, like I have been doing a little bit of lately, and I struggle with this sometimes, I've been doing power cleans after my volume squats. And again, just trying to keep up my overall speed, explosiveness, and I've been doing them with a fair amount of volume too. Like I've done as many as 5 to 7 sets of power cleans after my volume squats. So I got in today. My squats didn't feel bad. Now, as soon as I finished that last set, I felt that dull ache set in. But the speed was good. I did nice full second pauses at the bottom on every rep, on every set. Everything was fast. Everything was good, even though it was a slight weight bump. Again, I've been adding weight every single week on these. It was good. However, I felt that dull throb in my quads. And you guys know that feeling. Not a pump, it's a throb. So I went to start doing my power cleans. Warm-ups were okay. They went really well, 135, 155. And as I started going up from there, I started noticing they were getting difficult. I got to my working weight. My first set, I noticed I was struggling with speed, and it was the fatigue. My quads just were basically wore out from the volume of squatting. I was struggling to get any air. My heels were barely, only maybe coming 2 inches off the ground. My toes weren't coming off the ground at all. Did a set, waited 5 minutes, came back, did another set, same thing. Felt I was getting even slower. And on the 3rd rep, I almost missed the catch because I just wasn't generating enough power. So what did I do? Changed shoes, packed up my gym bag, put my coat on, and went home. Didn't need that accessory work. And I counted it as a successful workout. Now, I had planned on coming in and doing about 4 or 5 sets of power cleans afterwards. That's what I had planned on. But you know what? At the end of the day, is a power clean a good exercise? You bet it is. Is it a useful exercise? Yeah. Useful even for a power lifter? Of course. Did I need it today? No. Why? Because accessory movements are there to either bring up weak points, prevent stalls, or to add more volume to your training to stimulate a little more additional hypertrophy, maybe in just the right places or in the same places as your prime movers, because you can only handle so much recovery as far as your big exercises go. That's why we do accessory movements. Did any of that apply today? No. None of it applies. And I got to go train tomorrow. My 4-day split, tomorrow's a training day. So there comes a point to where you have to step back and say, well, it was a successful workout. Accessory work starts to become more and more important as you stall. I'm not stalling right now. My lifts are going up every single week. Today my lifts went up and they were fast and clean and felt good. I was happy with my bar speed. I was really happy with all of my sets of pause squats. And it didn't feel like I've increased weight. Even though I've been increasing weight every week, it doesn't feel any harder than it did a month ago. Today was a increase. I used slightly more weight on the bar for the same reps and sets while maintaining good bar speed and good form. I progressed. So the fact that I couldn't really handle and didn't have power left or speed left for the power cleans doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because I progressed, I'm going to get bigger and stronger off the work on the primary exercise. It was a PR day. And here's the thing that people need to remember. Sometimes training hard means that you have to know when to reel things in. When you step in and you're successful at your most important exercises, you've hit your target numbers on an increase, whether you increase reps, weight on the bar, volume, and then you're fatigued when you get to your accessory work and it's not going well, go home. That's what people need to remember. Accessory work is optional. There are people who do almost no accessory work who get massive and strong. And I'm not saying accessory work doesn't have its place, but there are times when you have to step back and assess, do I need this accessory work? You know, if you come in on a certain day and you're like a volume day and you stall, let's say you try to increase something and you can't, that's the kind of day where you probably need to grind through and do some accessory work, and you better figure out what's going on with your recovery. You're going to need to get some extra food, some extra sleep. You're going to need to up your carbs, maybe get an extra hour of sleep every night for the next couple days, because you're possibly going to have some recovery issues. But you need to go ahead and grind out those accessories on that day, because you need that training volume to stimulate more adaptation, and you need to be able to recover from it. But there's no point in beating yourself up when you feel that your recovery and your fatigue is set in and you have successfully done what you set out to do on your primary exercises. You can skip the extra fatigue generated by a bunch of accessory movements, because all they're going to do at that point is interfere with your recovery. If they feel heavy or slow or anything else, you're already fatigued. You're already exhausted. You're not getting maximum stimulation out of them anymore. Go ahead and go home. Don't beat your body up. You're going to recover. You're going to adapt. You're going to get bigger and stronger from the primary lifts on those days. And that's what people need to remember. Accessory work is there as an accessory for certain goals. But if you're already reaching those goals from that training session, there's no need to beat your recovery up. No need to beat your recovery up further, particularly when you're not struggling to progress. You know what? It's not broke, don't fix it. And it's just something people need to think about. Everyone always does that. You know, they'll come in, and it doesn't matter. It could be even for aesthetic purposes. Let's say you come in and do some weighted chin-ups. Are you struggling with your weighted chin-ups and your biceps or fatigue? Okay, maybe you need to do some extra curls. Maybe you need to, if that was what you were programmed to do. But if you come in and you PR on your weighted chin-ups and you hit your all-time best, man, I got an extra rep with that weight. I've never hit that before. But then you go to do curls and your biceps are just throbbing and fatigued. Why do it? Why bother? Why risk inflaming that connective tissue? That's going to slow down your recovery. You already hit a PR. You know you're going to grow from it. Go home. Unless you just happen to be on a roll and you feel fantastic because maybe you just slept particularly well. Maybe you got so much better food the day before that you PR'd. Everything felt light and you go ahead and keep moving forward. And you're still strong on your accessories, by all means, carry on. Get that extra benefit. But if you're not, go home and call it a day. Adapt, grow, get bigger and stronger. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.